You know, I talked about the lefty-righty theory. Well, when I won in '87, I bowled a left-hander. Yeah. For the first time there was ever a left-hander in the finals, we were both left-handed. I bowled Dave Skaggs, and you stole the bowling alley.
Little aha bringing us back here on a Friday night, 9:43 to be exact. Show brought to you in part by Matt Ramsey, John Ziegler, Drew Young, and Frank Heinlein at Bucyrus Blades, serving worldwide markets from Bucyrus since 1951. Virgil Jennings at McGuire Wholesale, Upper Sandusky. Roger Nelson, Chianino's Pizza, the official pizza provider of the phone board right next door to Mohican Sports Medicine, open every day at 10:30. We deliver. Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing and Signs, Route 309, across from the Marion Depot. Welcome back to the microphones. Bill Hansen and Bill Rahm Jr., and we were just talking a little bit about the format, and we were kind of talking off air about the number of lefties and righties. And Bill, if you want to repeat that for our listeners, you were talking about the advantage of going, if you're a lefty going against a righty or vice versa. Talk about because I never really thought about it.
I always like to bowl a right-hander
because I'm
left-handed. So I don't get the carry down that two right-handers get bowling on the same side of the lane. So it don't push the oil down as much and don't move around. So I always like bowling a right-hander, and then I had my shot all 4 games that it wasn't going to be affected except where I was bowling.
I never really gave that much of a thought to it, but I can see where that could come into play because if you're on the same side, you're rolling with the same arm, you're going to get that effect, and that oil is going to move a little bit. All right, so let's talk about the bracket. You mentioned 4 rookies this year in the bracket. You got Don coming back, McLaughlin as the returning champ. Let's talk about the rest and maybe some predictions, what you think's going to happen.
Well, as the bracket goes, Todd Spurlock Jr. will go up against Dave Schock. Jacob Derry will go against Nathan Monk, so there'll be 2 left-handers there on the same pair. Don, of course, goes up against Joe Powers. Bob Lear goes against Braden Bruner. Mike Lear goes against Tony Hupfer. Joel Butt goes against Todd Endeman. Eric Baldinger goes against Terry Miller, and they bowl together.
Oh, boy. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and then Brock Likens goes against Mitch Long.
Okay.
For the brackets.
So that's what kicks off tomorrow.
Right.
And who do you I know you don't want to play favorites, you're the tournament director and all that, but we're supposed to talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Do you just feel that there's somebody that's kind of prime and ready to win this thing again?
Well, I'd like to see my son-in-law, Don McLaughlin, win again. So, that's, but I mean, anything can happen. Guys throw 1 or 2 bad balls and the other guy can take advantage of them and stomp on them right now. I think the caliber of bowling of the guys this year, it's going to be a tough match for each one of them to come through unscathed and stay in that winner's bracket.
Talk about, before, I'm sorry if I cut you off there, talk about the averages from who has the highest to who has the lowest. We were talking off air. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a difference.
Well, the lowest average is Joe Powers. He has 208, and of course Mitch Long, he has a 230 average, and it's and it drops off quite rapid from 230 and drops down to like 218.
I see.
After that, and then goes down to 208 for Joe.
But that would tell me, that indicates to me as a novice that the competition's pretty tight.
Oh, definitely.
Well, you're talking of probably a double between 208, maybe a turkey between 208 and 230.
Yeah.
There's not been a dominant bowler per se. There's a guy that had a good stretch for maybe 4 or 5 years. Like I think Randy Rank won it 4 times in 6 years. But nobody's won it more than 4 times. We've had 4 guys win 4 times.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so nobody's ever gone.
But there's been some great bowlers, and it's hard to win because you get in that loser's bracket and you can bowl a good match and get beat. Once you get in the loser's bracket, it's.
Do you ever have to get in a situation where It's so intense that the guys are starting to get a little edgy, and you got to make sure that they're in control, or do they kind of manage that themselves?
No, I would say all the guys they bowl with each other during either Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night. So it's to the point where they're all friends and each one's, wishing the other guy a good shot, but not to win.
Right. Right.
They're all good friends, but they want to win and they want to see the other guy do good. But as far as getting jittery and as far as things of that sort that they may be upset with the other guy. No, since I've been involved with it and before, you never seen that in that respect.
Bill, let me ask you a question. As the tournament director is now going into your 10th year with this, do you really get a chance to kind of sit back and enjoy the actual game, the actual games that are there? Or is your head spinning so much? Is this going right? Do I have to check on this? Is this going well? Or do you get to enjoy a little bit of it?
No, we don't get to enjoy.
Thanks,
Junior,
Bill.
you're going to speak for him.
Well, the last couple of weeks is when it gets real jittery because everything's got to come together. The programs have to be done. All the shirts have to be done, and all the signs have to be done, and I get those put up. I can relax, and while I'm taking the scores and so forth, while the guys are finishing up, and that's about it.
Don't believe that. He's down there taking scores. He's putting names in and switching lanes, and it ain't just sitting there watching guys bowl. I get that job. I get to sit down behind a table that I always want to watch, and I'll sit there and watch. Yeah, it's not a party.
Yeah. February 25th, I can relax after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
And then the following week when the ladies start, so then we start this all over again. So I helped Deb Mason help with her on getting scores and so forth, and
But
getting all that
seriously,
stuff.
I think once you get half the field going, it's probably easier to stand back and watch them bowl.
Yeah.
Because you only got 3 or 4 matches you got to get scores for. You're not running to cover 16 lanes to get scores.
Yeah.
So I think once it gets down to half the field, it's probably a little easier for him
Sure.
to watch a bowler bowl and watch a match.
Yeah, because a match, you're only talking, 20, 25 minutes at the most.
More like 15.
And so, depending on how many strikes they're throwing, yeah, like Bill said, 15 minutes and boom.
And you might have 3 matches finished at the same time. So he's down here doing this, and they can't erase the scores down there.
Yeah,
So,
you think about with other sports, because when we do games on the radio, be it football or be it basketball, you have the timeouts, you have halftime, things like that. In bowling, boy, these guys must just get after it and let's go.
And
Let's giddy up.
and there's no defense. You can't run out and tackle the guy getting ready to throw a ball.
Well, let's hope not.
It's all offense.
It's all offense.
That's right. That's a great point, and it's a great way of putting that.
And it's a faster pace in bowling league.
How so?
I don't know. It just is. I always had. The year I won it, I wore 5-pound ankle weights because I couldn't stay slowed down.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I guess the adrenaline to a certain point, you say you have a 3 or 4 bagger and you want to get up there and get that next strike, and so that all enters into the picture.
And not only that, when you're bowling in league, you got 4 other guys to bowl before you to get back to you.
Good
You
point.
got a guy to bowl two times, and then you're up again.
Mm-hmm.
So he's bowling on this side, he's bowling that lane, and then you're up to bowl.
And my understanding in watching the interview that you did with Randy Bigley of Crawford County Now the other day, lane choice is kind of random, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, yeah. We draw each time that the bowlers go up each match, and like I told Randy, some guys, well, I like 3 and 4. I like 7 and 8. I hate 15, 16. Okay, I'm in love with 11 and 12. It's just 1 and 2 I want to stay away from, and all of a sudden,
And
boom, they get it.
Other than the first day and the first shift on the Sunday, we don't use the same pair
Oh, okay.
twice in a day
But all 16 are available
for the
first-
first
first-
2 days.
to
First
be
2 days.
okay, and then you
First two
And
sessions.
then
Then
so
you
like
clamp it
like
down.
the second shift on Sunday we use 1 and 3.
Okay.
We skip to 5 and 6. We skip to and then we'll go back on and pick up 3 and 4.
I see.
So
I see. Interesting. Interesting. I've never really put in a lot of thought into the complexity of that, but
the only one that don't have a choice is the last person there.
Yeah.
When you draw the 15 piece out of the pot, you have to take what's left.
you got what's left, and that's in some regards a little bit of a disadvantage of having the lowest average.
Well, it's
and
not
get-
the average. It's when the
No,
guy
it's-
shows up.
When they show up. Just-
So we take all the cards that got all the bios on them
Mhm.
and match them up every day by the pairs that are going to bowl that day.
I see. Okay.
So when one of them two guys show up, he draws for a lane.
I see.
So the last guy to arrive, or the last two guys to arrive, however it goes,
They're out of
they're,
luck.
they're
They get
taking
the
whatever's
last.
left.
Whether they love it or they don't love it, right? That's interesting. For folks that want to go out and see this tomorrow at Suburban Lanes, and I know they do a nice job out there of putting it on. Is there admission to get in?
No.
Nothing. No
No,
admission to
no.
get in. Okay. And of course, if they want something to eat while they're watching,
Have the snack bar open.
it'll be
Yeah.
open and
Yep.
come and go as you please, and
Right.
that's fantastic. And thank you so much for dropping off a beautiful program. Shout out to the sponsors that really put an effort to make this something pretty doggone special.
Well,
Oh,
it makes it, period.
Yeah.
We wouldn't
Yeah.
put it on, be able to put it on if it wasn't for the sponsors and the people that take out the ads and the people that buy the 50/50. I mean, the public makes this happen.
Yeah, it's a beautiful program, and so many sponsors in here. Great bios on everybody that's into it. You got a bracket in here that you can then fill out. Oh, there's a guy I recognize, Bob Lear. He's the Galleon
Right.
bowling coach who I've had. I heard you mention his name, and now I see his picture. And yeah, that's
But we probably have pretty close to $4,000 budget with shirts and
oh.
everything,
Shirt
and
signs, the
and that all
programs.
comes from that all comes from that program and the sponsors.
Yeah. And the shirts we get off of Vassals, and the programs are printed by A1 Printing, and it's just trophies are. I get those from Wags Trophy House, and so like Bill said, we appreciate all the people that take out ads and all the sponsors that donate their money for the bowlers. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Sure.
Because it would have ended probably 30 years ago or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
think
it's just, so many people that have a small part to play, which brings us to this tournament every year. And the same way with the Ladies Invitational. And, once we're done on the 25th, the ladies start on March 4th.
I mean, before this year, if you wanted to take out an ad, it was $35 for a business. A sponsorship was $150. The bowlers paid $50, and all that went together to pay for the whole Bill Rahm Invitational.
Wow. Well, I think the beautiful thing about it from my perspective is it's a local event and it's being supported by local businesses.
Right,
And,
right.
and that's the beauty of it all.
And when he goes into a place, it isn't asking. He'll say the Bill Rahm Invitational. He'll say, yeah, just send me a
Invoice.
Invoice.
Or they'll write me a
or
check.
the guys
whatever.
the guys get their own sponsors, so most of them get them
That's what
wherever
I've
they
seen.
work to sponsor them.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it wasn't for the public and the businesses and everybody else, this thing would never go.
Yeah, well, that's a wonderful thing, and again, your dad, I'm sure, would be so proud to see
Oh,
how it's
I'm
gone,
sure.
and so proud of you and what you've done, and of course, Bill, what you've done over the years to keep this thing going and really show interest every year. I know. It just becomes a February thing that we lead up to this, and we certainly look forward to it in this town, and that's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Mitch came in today and we were talking, and I said my dad always told me that the highlight of the Invitational was putting the scores in and sitting around and talking with Dean and Steve and Mitch after the bowling was done about who should have beat who or who did beat who or how their matches went.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd sit out there for an hour and a half after the tournament was done that day and just sit there and talk to them 3 or 4 guys.
Rehashing it.
Yeah, about what happened and what didn't happen. And
That's outstanding.
but
Outstanding.
like there was one year that all 4 of my other teammates and I made the invitational. So the chance of bowling one of your teammates is going to happen because you got 5 of the 16 guys all bowling the same team.
Yeah, that's got to be
But
really
you
interesting.
bowl this guy today and you try to beat him, but then you turn right around tomorrow and you're maybe bowling the same team with him.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
So
nice.
there's a lot of intensity and wanting to win, but it's never to the point where, well, I wish that guy would, nobody ever says, I wish that guy wasn't here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
How early will your day start tomorrow?
Oh, usually about 11 o'clock.
Okay, but I mean, even getting up and just
9 o'clock. No, my wife and I go out to pancake breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, we have the
Yeah.
Rotary Pancake
Yeah.
Breakfast out at Bucyrus High
So
School.
we'll go out there about 9 and then eat, and then we'll go out to bowling night by 11,
Yeah.
10:30,
Yeah.
11 o'clock.
So everybody, go out to the Bucyrus High School tomorrow to support the Rotary, Rotary Pancake Breakfast, and head out to Suburban Lanes, and we'll have a remote from the Pancake Breakfast, and then we'll be doing some things out at the tournament, kind of a wrap up tomorrow as well that we'll have. So it should be an interesting day, and I hope a ton of people come for you. That
Yeah.
would be a good thing. You've said you've had quite a few people there in the
Oh,
past. haven't you?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's like Bill said, we've had 200 people. The whole suburban lanes are, it's all packed with people. I have a hard time walking around because I can't get
And,
through.
obviously, as the bowlers get eliminated, the people that come out
Sure.
to watch them.
Right.
So, you don't have near as many people when you got one match bowling as you do when you got 16.
Sure.
But most people come out, they've got a favorite bowler, and they'll come out watching bowl.
Yeah.
And they may all be standing here watching this guy bowl, and somebody down there's got 10 in a row, and they kind of meander down that way to.
Yep.
Almost like a gallery at a golf,
Yeah.
at a golf
Right,
tournament.
right.
Yeah.
And then when the finals come up, then
And everybody's
it seems
back
like
out
everybody
again.
congregates back in, because the bowlers that have been eliminated, they're back in, plus their friends and family,
And
want
we
to see
do-
who's winning.
We do have a little bit of a feed after tomorrow's bowling,
Okay.
and then we have a luncheon for all the bowlers and their families after the finals on
Oh, outstanding.
the 25th.
Outstanding. Really good. It's 10 o'clock straight up. You're listening to the Friday Night Phone Board on Iconic Rock, Q92.7 WQEL in Bucyrus, and getting ready to wrap things up here with Bill Rahm Jr. and Bill Hansen representing the 57th Annual Bill Rahm Invitational Bowling Tournament tomorrow at Suburban Lanes in Bucyrus. And guys, any parting comments, any things that you want to share with the fans about the tournament, or anything left on your mind that you want to share about that?
No, I'd just like to thank everybody that has been a advertiser and a sponsor for any of the bowlers and so forth over the years. And this year, we just want to have as many people come out and enjoy the sport of bowling in Bucyrus.
Because I'll guarantee you'll see some great bowling.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's
there'll
for
be
sure.
Some wonderful.
Well, it's got such
matches.
a rich heritage in this town, and to say that you've done this for 57 years and almost as long as I've been alive, that's such a great thing, and to continue to be able to do this and put quality bowlers out there and have such a great event that they can showcase their talents, I think that's a huge thing, and a lot of credit goes to obviously your dad, but to you guys as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not here to get the accolades, you're just here to put on a good show, but I tell you, I'm sure a lot of people, if they don't tell you, should tell you, thanks for what you do, and thanks for all the effort and the time that you put forth to put on a good show.
Him. I just drive from Junior to Ohio.
Well, you're still a big part of it, but yeah, Bill certainly, with boots in the field, certainly has a lot of that time and effort. But I'm sure if you didn't love it, you wouldn't do it.
No. When I first got into this, I said yes one too many times, and and so far I'm sure, yeah, I'll do it, and it's a labor of love, as we've said in the past. And, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, I like to bowl. I bowl a couple times a week, and, you know, you get with these guys and you compete against them, and, you know.
You know, he'll say to me, he'll say, well, we're running out of room in the program. We need to do something. I'll say, well, you decide. Could you do the program? Take a page out, you know.
Yeah, we had to do that this year because of we list all the bowlers that have been in the Invitational from 1965.
By the year they made it.
Wow.
So we had it on 2 pages and it ran over. So we had to put them on the 3rd page and we had to take something out.
Well, it's a good problem to have because it tells you, again, longevity. But I understand the kind of the restraints with that as well.
Somebody said to me one time, they said, you know, all they do out there is shoot 300s. They bowled 11,285 games, and they've had 28 300s. So it isn't just shooting 300 every time you go out there and bowl.
Yeah, it's more rare than
28 out of over 11,000 games.
Yeah, likely you're not going to see that at all.
Yeah. In the same way with the women, you know, we're done on the 25th, and then, you know, the women start this all over again on March the 4th, and you know, and they do a little bit different because they're bowling during the week.
Oh, okay.
But now this year they have gone from a 3-game format to a 4-game format, and they do have a handicap in that situation. So that's a little bit different than the Bill Rahm Invitational as far as that goes. Yeah,
it's good. It's good that you have something that's honoring both the top guy bowlers and the top lady bowlers.
Right.
And, it's something I think in this time of year where it's not the most pleasant of weather in this part of Ohio. Normally we have snow on the ground, and it takes kind of a diversion away from that. You're not really doing stuff outside, so come on in and see some good bowling action at really. And I'm. This is the honest to gosh truth. I'm not. No names, please. No names, please. But there was a local bowling coach that is so impressed with what's going on at Suburban, what Sean's doing out at Suburban Lanes, compared to, no names, please, some other area alleys, and just was very passionate about the good things that are going out there, and that we really do have a gem in this town as a bowling center for people.
All the way back as far as Suburban has been open, I bowled in a lot of cities in a lot of tournaments, and Suburban Lanes is one of the cleanest bowling alleys that you'll bowl in.
Yeah. So it's a premier place to do it. It's a premier group of people, both the men now and the ladies later, and I think top-notch people like yourself that are running this tournament, and it's why it's continued to be successful year after year and into year 57.
And, you know, the guys look forward to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, like I told you before, when they started, it was going to be a one-time deal. And everybody come back and wanted to know when they was going to have the next year, and it was never intended to be that way. It was Harry and my dad were just going to honor the top bowler of 1965.
Well, you know, we celebrate the Super Bowl this Sunday, and this must be their Super Bowl. This is their playoff and their Super Bowl for them. So it's very, very important.
And it's really interesting when, you know, Bill's not here, so he doesn't see it. But, you know, when they start bowling in either the last of August or first part of September, they're already thinking about making it to the Invitational.
Sure.
That's scary. You know, they're already wanting to compete.
But, you know, you can have a bad week early and bowl good enough to pick it up. But if you're bowling and you're on that list and you have a bad week at the end, you ain't got time to recover.
Yeah. If you're gonna screw up, do it early.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a bad one, you want to do it early.
Right.
Yeah, very, very true. Well, guys, I'm going to turn you loose here so you can kind of collect your thoughts, get ready for a big day tomorrow and the next 3 weeks. I appreciate you so much for coming in. It's always great to talk to you.
Thanks for having us. Always a privilege. We enjoy coming up here.
And we got to talk to Davey. So that in and of itself, that was worth coming up tonight. Because he has so much knowledge. And you talk about a guy that is truly knows a lot about the tournament, but is passionate
Yeah.
about the tournament.
Right.
And that you could
Right.
hear that in his voice, his enthusiasm, his excitement about it. And I'm so glad that he took the opportunity to call in, and certainly that you imparted your knowledge.
One more
tonight.
thing.
Yeah.
I'll put something in about the Bill Rahm, and they're going to do this or the Who Bowls. And he'll always say to me, and don't forget to mention it was done on WQEL, and he'll put that in that comment every time. Don't forget to mention it was on the.
Davey is the ultimate salesman, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's
Right.
the ultimate salesman,
Yeah.
and he always makes sure that.
Brenda will read that and say, well, David commented about WQEL and WBPO again.
Oh my golly! Well, guys, again, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for the program. I appreciate that. Wish you the best of luck. All the bowlers the best of luck, and I hope you just have a great tournament.
We probably will.
All right.
Well, we appreciate you having us,
Yep.
Mike, over all
Absolutely.
these years, and thank you much for your sentiments.
Absolutely.
Same time next year.
All right,
Right,
sounds
right.
great. All right, stay in touch. Good luck to you. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back and we'll run down the scores and maybe do a little Super Bowl preview as well. And anything that's on your mind sports-wise, feel free to give me a call, 419-562-2222, 1-888-843-0024. We'll be back right after this timeout.